Hello everyone. In this session, we will be starting a new part of chapter number 3, that is special purpose subsidiary book. Now in cash book, we saw that all the cash transactions were recorded in cash book and petty cash book. Now we know that a business cannot survive only on cash transaction. They have to undertake some credit transaction as well. So if we record all the cash transactions in cash book, then where are we going to record our credit transactions? Now for that, we have to understand special purpose subsidiary books. Now these subsidiary books, they record all the credit transaction of a business. So basically in this special purpose subsidiary books chapter, we are going to discuss 5 different types of book. That is, first one is purchase book, that will record all the credit purchases of goods. Then sales book, that will record all the credit sales of good. Then purchase return book, when we purchase goods on credit, and if we return some goods out of that purchases, then that purchase return transaction will be recorded in purchase return book. Then sales return book is nothing but when we sell goods on credit, and if our customer returns us back some of the goods, then in that case, that sales return transaction we will record in sales return book. And journal proper, as you already have seen in some of cash book questions, then whatever transaction that is discount allowed, discount received, that we cannot record in our cash book, we used to pass journal entry for that. So journal proper is nothing but all the transactions which we cannot record in cash book, purchase book, sales book, purchase return book and sales return book. For those transactions, we will pass journal entry, and that journal entry will be known as journal proper. Okay. So in the previous chapter, the method of recording transactions in a cash book was discussed. As discussed, only the cash transactions are recorded in cash book, whereas non-cash transactions, that is credit transaction, are recorded in other special purpose subsidiary books, which are purchase book, sales book, purchase return book, sales return book, bills receivable book, bills payable book and journal proper. But since bills receivable book and bills payable book are not included in our syllabus, so we are not going to discuss this point number 5 and 6. So we will stick with only the remaining 5 points. Now first we will discuss about purchase book, or another name of purchase book is purchase journal. Now all credit purchases of goods are recorded in the purchase book. Goods in here mean only those things in which the firm is dealing. Means normally when we purchase furniture for our business, we don't record in purchase book because that furniture we are going to use in our business. But the purchase transaction regarding goods that we are going to sell in our business, that the business mainly deals in with, we are talking about those purchases transactions. Those will be recorded in purchase book. Suppose if you are a merchant trader or merchant businessman, and if you purchased any furniture, then it is not related with your business. So you are not going to record transaction of purchasing your furniture into your purchase book. Okay. Now in other words, these are articles which are purchased for resale. For example, a firm dealing in cloth purchases cloth, it will be treated as purchase of goods and will be recorded in purchase book. But if the same firm purchases furniture, it will be treated as purchase of an asset and will not be recorded in purchase book. Purchase book is also known as invoice book or purchase day book. They can ask you for objective type question, what is another name of purchase book, then you can tell it can be either purchase journal, invoice book or purchase day book. Now let us see what kind of transactions are recorded in purchase. What kind of transactions are not recorded in purchase book. First one is cash purchases. Cash purchases are not recorded in this book since this will be recorded in cash book. Next is purchase of asset. Only credit purchase of goods are recorded in this book. Purchase of assets such as machinery, furniture, typewriters, etc. are not recorded in the purchase book. Instead, these are recorded in the journal proper if purchased on credit. or in the cash book if purchased for cash. Suppose you are a cloth merchant and you purchased furniture on credit. In that case, since it is not related with goods purchasing, so you can't record it in purchase book. You cannot record it in cash book, because in cash book we record all the cash transactions. Since it is a credit purchase, in that case what you will do is that you will note it down in journal proper. Now let us see what is meant by recording of transactions. The source documents on the basis of which the transactions are recorded in the purchase book are known as invoices or bills received by the firm from the suppliers of the goods. An invoice contains the quantity of the goods, rate, amount, trade discount, etc. So all this information will be given in the question for preparing purchase book. Then next is trade discount. The amount of purchase to be recorded in the purchase book is always arrived at after deducting trade discount. Since from the starting of journal entry we saw that we don't use to record trade discount in our book of account. So in purchase book also, first we will deduct trade discount, and after deducting it only we will record that amount in our purchase book. For example, goods of the least price of 10,000 are purchased at 20% trade discount. That means 20% of 10,000 will be 2,000. So after deducting 2,000, we will record only 8,000 in our purchase book. Now here is the format of purchase book. There will be 10 columns. First column will be date. Then second column will be particulars. In this column we will particularly write name of the supplier. Suppose if we are purchasing goods from ABC Limited, then we will write ABC Limited. Then, or you can say the account to be credited, whose account, the supplier's account that we are going to credit it, whose that's per party's information will be recorded in this column. Then the third one is invoice number, means in question they will give us invoice number that we have to record in this column. Then ledger folio number if there is any given in the question. Then we have to write details, means how much amount of goods or how much unit of goods that we have purchased and at what rate, means what was the rate of each unit or per pieces rate was. Then we have to write total purchases amount, then amount of input CGST, then input SGST in case of intra-state sale, then input IGST if there is in the case of interstate sales or purchase. Then at last we have to write down total amount. Now this some columns might be confusing for you, but we will understand properly when we will solve one illustration question. Okay, these are the details or the explanation of all the columns of purchase book. Now let us see illustration number 1. Now for this special purpose subsidiary chapter, what I will do is that we will see the illustration of different books, that is purchase book, sales book, purchase return, sales return book, and at last we will directly solve one practical question in which all these type of books will be included. Means we will be dealing with different types of books that we have to prepare in one single question. So we will not solve individual question for purchase book, sales book separately. Okay, now let us see illustration number 1. Now they told us to enter the following transaction in the purchase book of Pawan Electric Store. Now in this type of question you have to specifically give attention to the type of business for which we are going to prepare purchase book, because since we have to understand what kind of purchases will be recorded, means is it related with purchase of goods or is it purchase of asset. Okay, now in this case it is said that the owner of the business deals in electronic goods, so it is situated in Delhi and CGST and SGST is at 6% each. Now let us see, on June 2nd the first transaction was purchase good from Surya Electric Store. That means we purchase goods from Surya Electric, that is electric store itself. That means this will be treated as our goods and we have to record in our purchase book. Now the supplier is already situated in Delhi and we purchase goods on credit. That means this transaction can be recorded in our purchase book. Now this is the format of purchase book. Now in heading you have to write in heading we will write Books of Pawan Electric Store, New Delhi, purchase book or purchase journal, date, particulars, then invoice number, ledger folio, details, purchase and all. Now let us see the transaction. The first transaction took place on June 2. Then particulars or name of the supplier is Surya Electric Store, that is situated in Chandni Chowk, Delhi. Remember, you have to write down the address of the supplier and not your own store, okay, because we are recording details of our supplier. So we will write Surya Electric Store, Chandni Chowk, New Delhi, or Delhi as per given in the question. Then we will enter the details of the goods that we purchased from them. At first they say that 40 tube lights at 500 rupees 500 each, that we will record in here, 40 tube lights at 500 rupees each. Wait. Here 5 at rupees 500 each. Then next item was 15 table fans at rupees 2000 each. Then we wrote 15 table fans at rupees 2000 each. Okay, now in details what we are going to do is that we will find out the total amount of money. So 40 tube lights at 500 means 40 into 500 gives us 20,000. Then 15 into 2000 gives us 30,000. So altogether we got 50,000. Now in question they told us that there is trade discount of 20%. So in here we will write less trade discount at 20%. 20% of 50,000 is 10,000. So after deducting we got 40,000. Then again there is CGST and SGST, and since it is an intrastate transaction, so we have to apply both CGST and SGST. So for that we will write at CGST at 6%, SGST at 6%. 6% of 40,000 is 2,400 each. Now after adding CGST and SGST, we got 44,800. Okay, now there you have to draw a line like this. Now in individual column what we are going to do is that we have to write purchase amount. Purchase amount means the amount that we got after deducting trade discount, that is 40,000. So we will write 40,000 in purchase column. Then input CGST is 2,400, SGST is also 2,400. Since it is an intrastate transaction there will be no IGST, so we will put a blank in here, and the total amount that we got at last is 44,800 in here. So you have to be very careful while multiplying these two amount, plus you have to be very sure in your addition and deduction. Okay, now in the question they told us that in bracket there is given invoice number 480. So in invoice column you will write 480. Like this you have to record each and every transaction, but you have to be very careful what transactions are we supposed to record in purchase book. Sometimes they used to give cash transaction also in the question just to make you confused, so you have to be very careful. Okay, now let us see the second transaction. Bought goods from New Light Traders, Connaught Place, New Delhi. Again it is a intrastate transaction. Then on credit, that means we can record it in our purchase book, and invoice number is also given. Then 10 ceiling fans at 3,000 each, 20 electric irons at 500 each. That means it is goods and we can record it in our purchase book. Now in here June 10, the name of the supplier and its address will be recorded in here. Then invoice number we saw in question is 2310. Then we purchased 10 ceiling fans at rupees 3,000 each, that means 30,000. Then 20 electric irons at 500 each, that means 10,000. So after adding we got 40,000. Then there was a trade discount of 10%, so we will find out 10% of 40,000, that is 4,000. Then we got 36,000, and there will be CGST and SGST at 6%, that is 2,160 each. So after adding these two we got 40,320. Now in purchase we will write 36,000 of the amount that we got after deducting trade discount, then CGST and SGST, and in here we will write the amount, that is the total purchases amount. Then next transaction, let us see. On June 20, purchase goods from Ravindra Electric Company, Patel Nagar, New Delhi. Again, intrastate transaction. Then we purchased on credit and invoice number is given. So let us fill up the name of the supplier, that is Ravindra Electric Company, Patel Nagar, New Delhi, invoice number 1508. Then the item that we purchased is 100 dozen bulbs at rupees 600 per dozen. So 100 into 600 will be 60,000. Then next item was 20 water heaters at 1,000 each. So 20 into 1,000 we got 20,000. So altogether we got 80,000. Then there was a trade discount of 25%. So 25% of 80,000 is 20,000. Sorry. So after deducting we got 60,000. That 60,000 will be recorded in purchase column. Then we have CGST and SGST of rupees 3,600 each, so we will record it in the individual column of GST. Then altogether we got purchases of 67,200 that we will record in the last column of total amount. Now see the next transaction that took place on 22nd of June. Bought from Sunny Lamp, Lajpat Nagar, New Delhi. Now in here you see it is written for cash. That means this is not a credit transaction but a cash transaction. That means we cannot record it in our purchase book. Means it is a cash transaction. It was already recorded in cash book, so no need to record in your purchase book. Then again on June 28, bought from Fashion Furniture Company. Here see, we are dealing in electronic goods, but the thing that we purchased is furniture. That is 12 chairs at 1,500 each, 2 tables at rupees 8,000 each. That means it is not our goods, it is our asset that we have purchased. And in purchase book, we cannot record the purchase of asset. Even though this is a credit transaction, but still we cannot record it in our purchase book. So with these 3 transactions, our purchase book is over, and at the last what we will do is that we will find out the total at the last date of every month, that is June 30. We will write in here total. Then we have to find total of these columns, that is purchase, CGST, SGST, IGST we didn't have any, nil. Then at last total amount. So this is the format and this is how you are going to prepare your purchase book. Just you have to make sure which transaction you are supposed to record. It should be a credit transaction. It should be transaction related with the goods and not with assets or any other transaction. Okay, I hope you understood purchase book, and in our next session we will be dealing with sales book and purchase return and other types of subsidiary books. And at last of this chapter session, we will be solving one combined question for all the subsidiary books. Now for this session we will wind up here. Thank you.